Be Beethoven by the end of lockdown. I'm gonna have a big dog. Hello, I'm Karina. I'm a fashion and lifestyle blogger from Bristol. I live with my husband Pete, who works from home also, and our 7-month-old cockapoo Cooper, who you just met. So I write a lot about mid-size fashion, and I write about a lot of it is about quality, so fitting my shape, and whether that's high street or more considered investment pieces, kind of arranging along that, and then a lot of body confidence in general, inclusion in the creative industry, and just a lot about life, I guess, in my 30s. Stories to tell, and a lot to do with confidence in women is what I'm passionate about talking about.
Yeah, because I was having a look at your blog, and you wrote a piece about, well, there was a couple of pieces that I really related to, and when you were talking a lot about turning 30. So I'm 30 in September, and it's something that I've been thinking a lot about. And then also you said about that you got a life coach. And that sounded fascinating.
I actually met her through the Insecure Girls Club. Just in the comments, I'd written about basically, I think I was 29, just going into my 30s, and kind of panicking about all the things that I hadn't done yet, and where I should be. I had just quit a job that I absolutely hated. I thought it was going to be my dream job, but it was just awful, like a really horrible office environment, and I just ended up quitting. So I was unemployed for, I think a few months, like a couple of months, 2 to 3 months, and it was in that period that I was coming up to 30 and just kind of like, what am I doing with my life? I've got no job, and just kind of looking at all the negatives and feeling like I should be somewhere else and have achieved a lot more when turning 30, and then you just kind of realise like how bullshit that is. It's just, it's not true. Age isn't nothing but a number, and it just kind of I ended up finding Emma in the comments when I'd shared my story on the Insecure Girls Club page, and she just kind of reached out to me and said, like, I work with women in their 30s who feel a bit lost at the moment, and just kind of she helped to really kind of get my mind back on track about what I want, I guess, what I want from life, like what is it I want to be doing, what makes me happy, what am I passionate about, and how can I work towards it. And it just kind of gave me that guidance that I needed, rather than kind of sitting in like pity and not really doing anything about it. She just kind of really got me out of that funk and set me goals, and really kind of changed my thoughts in terms of thinking negatively. I don't think we realise how much we think negative thoughts about ourselves, about situations, and they can really manifest and take over if you don't manage them. So that's something I really learned with her, and I worked with her maybe for a couple months, and I can honestly say it's the best thing I could have done for myself at that time, because it just kind of pulled me out of a serious funk that I couldn't shake, and it just took with someone else's help to really get me out of that. And I'm grateful to her for that. It's amazing.
That's interesting as well, because I guess there's sort of a lot of attention on, maybe if you're feeling in a funk, like there's attention on maybe going for therapy, or if you went to the doctors they might prescribe you drugs. But it's interesting to look at it and have a life coach. That's something
I would say it's right in the middle of having a therapist and having a business coach. I think therapy is a lot to do with your emotions and healing, and things like that. And obviously with business coaching, it's a lot more like goal orientated and working towards those goals. And it was kind of right in the middle for me, which I think was a nice a nice balance where, you know, I got to talk about the things that either made me anxious or made me sad, but then I also got to talk about what I kind of wanted to do and what kind of business I wanted to be in and job I wanted to be in, career I wanted to have. And yeah, it was nicely down the middle that I kind of got to see what was holding me back.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was to do with negative thoughts and kind of being unaligned. I know that's such a buzzword, but yeah, my thoughts were very unaligned, very kind of like stuck in the past, or convincing myself that I couldn't do something before I even tried it. And yeah, it was just kind of, she helped me to change my thought process in dealing with those emotions and those thoughts. So yeah, it's really kind of trained your brain.
Yeah. It sounds so interesting. And there was something that you said in particular which I wanted to ask you about, which was the language you use on yourself is positive when it comes from a negative place. What did you mean by that? God. I don't normally sit and like analyse people's blog posts, but I was just really intrigued.
I say that. I say a lot.
I was just really intrigued by what it meant.
Basically, I think this is what I meant, that you can convince yourself that when you convince yourself not to do something, you can convince yourself that it's coming from a good place. So I can't do that because it's rubbish and there's no point in trying, and you know, you're just saving yourself the embarrassment. You know, I'm looking after myself, Karina, like you know, don't put yourself out there because, you know, it could go wrong. And you can convince yourself that it's coming from a good place when really it's not. You're just kind of self-sabotaging, I guess. And that's the key thing I kind of learned about some of my behaviours, that I had a tendency to self-sabotage things before I'd even tried or put myself out there or stuck up for myself, or, you know, I always thought of the worst case scenario. And I think with this, it kind of taught me that what is the worst that's going to happen? Also, if people don't like you, who cares? If that person doesn't like you, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that they can do to you? 9 times out of 10, nothing. So just, always thinking, challenging your thoughts, I think, is the main takeaway from that. Like challenging your thoughts and making sure that they're coming from a good place and you're not self-sabotaging yourself, if that makes sense. Sorry if that's really rambling.
No, it was interesting. So you're working for yourself now then, you're self-employed?
Yeah, I went self-employed in February, so it was before lockdown. I actually got made redundant from my full-time job at the end of January, and at the time it just felt like the worst thing. And then Corona came, and it was like, oh, this is nothing. And it was then I just was kind of at a crossroads, like, okay, what do I really want to be doing, and what, you know, can I find that in another job? The answer was no, and I just thought it's now or never, go for it. It's the best decision I made. Have a look back.
yeah, that's great. And would you say that you find it quite easy to motivate yourself as like sort of being self-employed? Because I think that's something people would worry about.
Yeah, that is the like $1 million question. I do struggle, I'll be really honest. It's only these past 2 weeks that I've kind of put a lot more time and effort into making like a real plan for myself, like very detailed, kind of what time I get up and like my morning routine, and like making that like a ritual, because if I don't, it's so easy just to be like, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, and then it becomes a week and then 2 weeks, and I think I was beating myself up for not being very productive. It's really hard during this time because you have every reason not to be doing a million things, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of emotions going around, and it's completely okay, but also sometimes being busy and kind of doing things that I enjoy helps me. So it's finding that balance now, working from home, that I have a routine of getting up at about 7 a.m. Usually Cooper's our alarm clock. So he'll wake up, we can have breakfast, I'll try and get out for a run or a walk, come home, shower, take vitamins, and just kind of sit with a coffee and emails and try and journal as well. I've started doing that in the past week and a half, and it's just a chance to sort of brain dump before you start the day, and just get any feelings out or anything that I'm worried about or that I have to do, that I'm a bit apprehensive about. And it just kind of, I always ask myself the question, like, what would make today like awesome? What would make it good? That will make you happy. And it ranges. It could be really random. Some days it could just be like, finishing, a bit earlier. If I work a bit harder, I can finish earlier. Or getting out for lunch and going and have, a picnic, or taking Cooper out, or doing things like this, which I haven't done before, saying, I'm going to talk to Isla on FaceTime, and we're going to have fun and talk through clothes, just something I haven't done before, like that's an achievement. So like today, I can tick it off as, a good day. This makes me feel good.
Yeah, because I was looking at Pip Jolly's Instagram, and she does the morning coffee affirmation.
Yeah.
And she put one on yesterday that said something about, I'm in control of my happiness, and I can decide if I'm going to be happy or sad, and I'm going to be happy today. And I can understand, obviously, if something really terrible has happened to you, that is probably not in your control. But on Sunday, I definitely had one of those days where it could have gone, I could have been bored, I could have been on my own all day, and felt really negative about that. And I was like, no, I'm going to be happy. I can make today great.
I think you just become especially now that we've got so much time, I think I know I've become a lot more in tune with what makes me happy. And some days that could just be I'm not feeling it, so I'm not going to force myself to kind of do all this work that I can't put my 100% in. I'm not going to force myself to do anything, basically. I'm just going to listen to my body, and whether that's watch Netflix or just do something really low energy. Or some days, I'll be like, I know what will make me feel better. It's getting up early and getting out the house and coming back and ticking a few things off. It changes from day to day. I think it's just being kind to yourself, basically, is what will make you happy in the long run.
And I think knowing now that I have peaks and troughs throughout the month, and just because I'm having an off day doesn't mean that tomorrow I'm going to sit and do nothing. So it's okay if that's how you feel today.
Yeah, it's so easy to be consumed by it. And I think especially on social media at the moment, we have so much time to be looking at what other people are doing, and it can kind of convince you that I'm not doing enough, or I'm not doing this, when really you just, everyone is different. Everyone deals with things differently, and it's just listening to yourself and what you need. I would say that's my number one lockdown learning. Just stop concentrating on what other people are doing and how they're doing it and how much they've done, and just listen to what your body and I guess soul needs, what brings you happiness. So love it.
Speaking of Instagram, I'm a huge fan of your Instagram and your style. It's so nice.
Ditto.
Do you get dressed every day, and obviously dress, but do you dress up every day?
I try to, just because it makes me happy. It makes me more productive. I don't know why. It just makes me feel good, and when I feel good, I am more inclined to because I don't want to waste an outfit or waste makeup. I'm like, right, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to film, or I'm going to do something. It just, it's a real mood booster for me. Not every day. Sometimes it's just a lot of effort. And I wouldn't say it's every day, but I try to, 3 times out of 4, I will put on a dress, do my makeup, shush my hair, and be like, come on, okay, what do you want to do today? Usually, and it works for me.
Yeah, I feel that way as well. I feel like I'm the same. Sort of 3 times out of 4 I'll be dressed up. But and it just helps me to do stuff. If I'm like looking scruffy or whatever, and I want to go to the shop, I'll try and like do something, and I end up spending so much longer than if I'd have just dressed up. It's just stupid because I'm trying to make this casual thing work, and I can't make that work.
I think I've also learned that there's no in between with me. Like I'm either really dressed up or I'm literally like slob. Like I am like hair bun, joggers, like no makeup, bit of pseudo-creme, and I'm just like, you're getting nothing out of me today. I like both. I don't like, if I had a preference, like I like both. But dressing up just kind of makes me feel good and more inclined to do stuff in the day. Whereas if I'm not, I'm more drawn to Netflix.
So should we move on to the item that you love then from your beautiful rail?
Yeah, item that I love.
You can pick a few.
Can I pick a few?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one I'm actually wearing, and I have two versions of this dress, and I think people would agree because I wear it on my Instagram all the time. So this is the daily sleeper dress. The daily sleeper dress.
It's so
that
nice.
I bought from Studio B Fashion.
Yeah.
Which is run by Bethany. She's a one-woman band, independent sales designer. She is so lovely. Like the experience just buying it was amazing. The customer service and just like the quality of it. 100% linen, and it's flowy, and the colour, and it was so nice that I bought two versions and had every intention of sending one back, and I just didn't.
It's such a nice dress.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
All the daily sleeper stuff is so nice. I just absolutely love it.
And it just goes with what I was saying earlier about good quality fit. Sometimes I find it really hard with linen pieces, have quite big hips, so whether it's trousers or kind of dresses, the way they fall, I need it to be very A-line and flowy, and these just kind of fit like perfection, like they fit amazingly, and you just feel like, you feel like you're wearing nothing, but then you feel like you're in your pajamas, but that you could go to a wedding in this, which is very like niche, but that like hard to find. But I would say 100% sleeper dresses are amazing.
Yeah, and I do think that they look great on everyone. I've seen them on so many different girls, and they just look amazing. Yeah. And also, everyone seems to manage to make it their own, which I find really fascinating as well.
Yeah, it's so true, because I think you can have it off the shoulder, obviously on your shoulder, like you can mess around with the sleeves, and there's just so many different colours. I always find it interesting to see what people go for.
Yeah.
It's always, there's so many colour combinations, you're like, oh, what did you get? But I love them so much.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list of things that I really want to get. It's just like one of those. Should we see do you want to show me something else you love then?
Yes. The next one, I'm trying to, the thing is, there is a lot of dresses, so I feel like it's going to be like another dress.
That's okay.
Dress, but these are genuinely my favourites. The next one would be this Suzanne dress.
Oh, I love this one. Yeah.
It's just, I put it on and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got like a bow tie detail at the back. It kind of cuts a bit closer than the sleeper dresses, but it's still really flattering. It just makes me want to be in Italy having an Aperol Spritz and not in the UK. It's I wasn't sure about it when I saw it on the model, and the model was a lot smaller than me, and I didn't know if it was gonna cater to bigger hips, but when I got it, it fits like a dream, and I get so many compliments on it, and it's not something I look for when it comes to dressing, but it just makes you feel good when people kind of walk past you like, you look amazing. You're just like, my gosh, thank you.
Yeah, because that dress, I've got to say as well, on the website, I didn't like it. I looked past it. And then as soon as I started seeing it on people, I was like, it's gorgeous.
I feel like it looks completely different than it does on the website. I just kind of saw it, and it kind of had. I kind of go through a tick box when I'm looking at certain items. I'm like, how does it fit? Is the style me? And I'm like, puff sleeves, check. Like, stretchy, like shirt, and like check. I'm like, maxi or midi, check. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. If it's not great, I'll send it back. But no, it's a dream. I love it.
Yeah, I love that there's midi dresses everywhere at the moment, and I love them so much because you just feel like a princess in them.
It's more like the easiness of wearing them. Just like it's very. I'm a very lazy dresser. I'm a very I just like to throw on things and go. And as long as you can throw on something and it looks and feels good, I'm like, check. Like, that's nice and easy. Sometimes I feel like I would like to be more experimental with like trousers. But it's my comfort zone when it comes to midi dresses, and there's so many beautiful ones. It's realising now more in lockdown, like I don't need everyone. Definitely don't need everyone. And I'm kind of trying to change my shopping habits that way, and getting more investment pieces that I will wear over and over and over, like this, like the sleeper dresses, and that will stop me buying so much high street.
Yeah, I've been trying to change mine as well, but then I think with lockdown, it just went out the window because I was shopping when I was bored.
Yeah, same. And you want things that make you feel happy, and it's like that happiness that you get when you buy something that you love, and then you kind of it's addictive. But then I know that I start to realise on, if it's raining or if it's a colder day and it gets to winter, and I'm like, God, I don't just have like caps or wardrobe pieces. Like, I need to invest more time into things like that and stop buying dresses. So that's what I've learned about myself in lockdown.
Do you have anything there that you find difficult to style?
Yeah, that probably comes closer. So I don't wear jeans a lot, especially in lockdown. I can't do jeans at the moment. So I decided to buy linens.
Yeah.
Like linen trousers and linen shorts. So they're a bit creased because it's
like
classic
those.
linen. Yeah, these are from Toast. And they were a bit more on the high-end high street, but I tried to find kind of cheaper linens in like H&M's and I think Arquette as well, and none of them fit me. It was really, really hard. Like, none of them catered to my hips, and it took me quite a while. And then so I ended up getting them, and it was just kind of like, okay, what do I have to style around this? How do I style this? I'm so used to being in dresses. But I just kind of then realised, like, kind of my go-to, getting a blazer. This is from And Other Stories. Blazer, t-shirt, and mix up the combinations. Everyone's kind of got your basic black blazer or a cream blazer, going in kind of all neutrals. This is another one from Arquette, just kind of going all neutral.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's, when I first got them, I was like, I've got them, and I'm like, how do I wear it? I'd say that was probably the hardest thing. That and shorts.
I find shorts really tricky.
Shorts, I don't wear them a lot. It's like out of my comfort zone. But I found these, and these were from H&M actually, and elastic waist, high waist are a winner. And I just kind of thought, again, like, how do I wear them? And I just thought, like, just go back to basics. T-shirt, blazer, maybe a a cardigan or something. And I've kind of worked my way around that, I think.
Because I find with shorts most of them just don't come up high enough, or I hate them when they're too short on my leg.
Yeah, same. Really out of my comfort zone. Like I was looking when I shop for things like that. I have to be really specific because I know what fits me well. And then like stretchy waist, high waist, and also not tight around the hips. It's quite hard to find. But yeah, H&M came through.
Do you find as you've got older, you've got better at not giving into trends as much? Because I find that maybe I'm like, I like that, but I know that it's not going to fit me and I'm not going to feel comfortable in it.
Yeah, definitely. Like now I've got older, I'm just learning like what fits me well, what I love, and even if it's the same, I don't care. I just know that that's my style and that I love it. I've kind of also realised a lot about tailoring as I've got older. That anything that's kind of either gotten too big for me or that I'm kind of like, I can't wear that because it's too smart. Just kind of tailoring it and either turning a maxi dress that was for a wedding and making it into a midi, or buying a dress that it doesn't fit massively well at the moment. It might be a bit big on the back or on the waist, but just learning to take it in a bit to fit exactly my shape, or taking trousers up so they fit nicer. I've learned a lot more about tailoring, I think, than just discarding clothes and learning to make them fit, I guess, to my body.
Yeah, I think tailoring is something that I'd like to do more of as well, because you can't just expect everyone to fit into all these sizes or these categories, because we're all so different. So
yeah, exactly. And sizing at the moment, especially on the high street, it's so hard. It's like I'm usually, if I'm ordering online, if it's bottoms or a dress, like I have to order the size up and the size down because I'm not sure how it's going to fit. And other stories is a really hard one with bottoms, because it's like if you're not straight up and down, and it's like you can't get in them without going like 3 times, like sizing up about 3 times. It's really difficult. So I think that's why I've been more in tune with finding places that, one, cater to a wide size range, and two, I always look at the fabric and the quality. If there's a bit of stretch in there, if it's like 100% linen, or whether it's got other material in it. And I always check the tag. I would say that as a tip as well.
So have you got anything else to show me off your rail?
I'm trying to think what else. So this dress I wanted to show, and this is from quite a new brand. I think I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Omnes. And this is another midi wrap dress, very flattering. And they are a sustainable fashion brand. I just really liked their brand ethos, because basically their slogan is fashion doesn't have to cost the earth, and that goes both ways. So you're not paying ridiculous prices, but also you're buying sustainable fabrics, and that's something that, as I get older and looking at what like my consumption at home, is something that's more and more important to me. Also along the sizing, it fit really well in gorgeous colours, and as it's a new brand, I really want to support it. They're gorgeous.
They're sending me it's like an apricot coloured skirt, which I'm really excited for it to arrive.
Oh, I'm excited for you. Yeah, really lovely. Like the packaging's really nice, and really nice brand, and a new one. I really like discovering new brands. I can get very bored kind of with the same H&M and Zara, and it's just I like trying to find pieces that not many other people will have, but also like that's special, like has a story behind it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I liked their story, so I'm trying to do more of that.
And I also like it when you see a brand that give a lot of into their sort of influencer or content creator marketing, because I think that's nice rather than just doing it on an advert or whatever. Because I remember when I was working in PR, and it was kind of at that point where the PR agency was trying to persuade the brands that content creators were really important and bloggers were a good way to spend your money, like for them to promote it.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but I mean, I get influenced by bloggers really easily. I know if I trust their opinion and I love the things that they wear. If they put something on that I love, like I 100% am going to buy it. So I always find it really interesting when brands kind of take that strategy, and the bloggers that they do choose to work with. It's always good to see that when it's the ones you love, you're like, oh, I need it. Yeah, that's gorgeous. If she's wearing it, then I need to look into this. So I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah, it's like with the Suzanne dress. Like if I wouldn't have looked at that if I hadn't have seen it on loads of other people and how they'd styled it so well. It wouldn't have been to my taste.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I'm so glad I got it, because it really has, now that the weather's really nice, I rotate between pretty much most of these dresses on here every other day of the week, just because it's easy and I feel good. And that and a mix of blazers and the linen trousers, things that make me feel, things that are bright but also make me feel really good.
And speaking of like blogs and stuff and seeing their style, do you have any style icons?
Oh yeah. Can I say like anyone? Can it be like celebrities or do you mean bloggers?
Anyone at all.
Or style icons. Number one would definitely be Tracee Ellis Ross. She's just gorgeous. She wears colour like no other, in my opinion. Everything fits really well, tailored. She loves a lot of midi and maxi styles and suits and bright suits, and I just think she always looks gorgeous. I'd love to steal her stylist. She nails it every single time. I'm trying to think who else, style icons. I will probably say Jess Sky. She's a blogger. And although she's neutrals based, and I am very lover of colour, she always shows me how to wear like capsule items, which is something I struggle with. So she will rotate between blazer and jeans and tees and a midi skirt and a blazer, and it can be the same items, but she's styled it like multiple ways that will make you think that she has something new on every time, but she doesn't. Which I think is always like an amazing skill. So if I'm struggling, like, I don't know what to wear today, I will look at her feed and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cute. I'm going to try that.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on Life in Clothes. I've really loved it.